Vlade and Dave. After that, we'll have a roving mic. If you want to ask a question, just raise your hand. Thanks for coming.
First of all, good morning to everybody. Thank you for coming. It's a big day for Sacramento Kings organization, and I gotta say I'm thrilled and excited about the season. We have our new coach. It was a very long process for us. You know, we spent a few weeks trying to find the best coach out there, and definitely when we find out that Dave is available, we took the charge and brought him here. We didn't waste the time, and I'm very happy to have him on the board. So again, I would like to thank Coach and his family that had the time to come and visit Sacramento, and welcome him and his family, wife Kara, the daughters Ellie and Kyla, and hopefully you're gonna love the California and have a good time here in the next 4 years.
12, 14.
Well, we'll see. It's a pressure on you.
For us, it was a bang deal. I want to thank Vivek and his family and his team, including Matina, for giving Vlade the responsibility of leading this team and making this decision. And I want to thank Vlade for the relationship that we've already built and the decision to go forward with me as your head coach. I'm very honored, very humbled to be in this situation. And this is a great situation. It's on the rise. All of the exciting things that are happening here, I'm excited to be a part of it. From the business side and from the professional side, but also as our family, we're outdoors people. We love small towns. We were in Memphis for 9 wonderful years. We are kind of country folks. We have horses and love being outside, and this is just a great fit for us, just professionally and personally. So I want to thank Vlade's team as well. I think he's put together a good team so far, and we're looking forward to adding some more pieces. Just added Ken in the last week. I think that's a great get for our organization, as well as Mike and Peja and Roland, and I'm excited to be working with those guys. And as we look at the situation and what we're going to do going forward, how the team is going to look, how we're going to play, I can't help but look back and be nostalgic about to me the heyday, the glory days of when Vlade and Peja played with Chris Webber and Mike Bibby and Bobby Jackson and Hito, and I almost just said Chris Wallace, Gerald Wallace, and Doug Christie, and the way that they played, and the chemistry that they played with, and the passion that they played with, and the love that they had for the community, and coming out and competing every night and playing in a certain style. It was about the team. The ball moved. They helped each other. They protected each other. They ate dinners together off the court. They spent a lot of time on the road together, and that's the kind of culture that we want. Those are the kind of people that we want here to be in a great organization that's got everything going forward, and do it together. And I think that all starts from what we've talked about, in our office, to doing it together. We are one team, and I'm really looking forward to partnering with Vlade, and I really appreciate the opportunity. So thank you very much. There you go, Chris.
Vlade, you had an exhaustive search here. What was it that made you jump at this opportunity? And Coach, what has this last 72 hours been like for you and your family, just this whirlwind leaving Memphis and now here in Sacramento?
Well, yeah, it was a long process, but I expect to be a long process. I didn't want to make a decision overnight, and we tried to do the right thing with my colleagues, Ken, Rolly, and Peja. We just took time, and I have to say we had a lot of good candidates, good people, people that I really respect with the basketball knowledge. But when Dave was available over the weekend, we sit down and we made a call. He came over here, we talked, we were excited, and we did it. I think it was a great decision by us, hopefully.
Yeah, Saturday was an interesting day. Saturday morning, getting the news from the Grizzlies, and by Saturday afternoon, I think we talked, and I said, yeah, I'll be on the first thing smoking in the morning, and got out here on Sunday, I think by noon or 1, and started meeting, and it's been fantastic and a little exhausting, very emotional, and certainly very exciting. stepping into an organization that's had some instability from the coaching and from the front office over the last couple of years. Just talk about what you hope to accomplish stepping into the situation. And Vlade, can you talk about trying to stop this instability and have this moving forward?
I already stopped.
I think we talked about it a little bit already, just as far as that the coach and the general manager are absolutely on the same team and going forward like this, and our front office, our coaching staff, and is that's going to go all the way through the organization, and there are not going to be any cracks. You're not going to be able to find Vlade say something about me or see me say something about Vlade. It's not going to happen. I think that going forward of the culture that we want to have and the excellence that we're going to demand of our coaches and our staff, what Vlade demands of his people, but that goes to our team. And there's a certain way that we expect that people will behave and perform. There's what we will not allow and what we will not tolerate and what we expect. And you better be in there in the middle, or we're committed to doing this the right way. We'll go in a different direction.
Well, in California, they have that food chain, in and out. We got it in or out. So.
Yeah, Coach Joerger, you've been in the Mid-South for almost 10 years, and reports say that you really want to be here, which is encouraging because Sacramento fans are the Kings. Why did you really want to be here? I mean, could you put that in details for us?
Well, I think that first of all, team's on the rise. There's still some heavy lifting to do, but some of the heavy lifting has been done. This is not a blow up, let's start over kind of situation, and we're on the road to recovery. Secondly, I love the people that we're working with. Third, look at the arena and everything that's going on downtown with what Divac has done is just fantastic. I think everything is in front of this organization going forward, and for my family, it's a perfect fit. I bounced around the minors, 7 years in Bismarck, North Dakota, a couple years in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and those are really passionate fan bases. There's not a lot else going on there, and in the minor leagues, in the CBA and the D League, it was a big deal. We went to Memphis. We got down there. We were winning 22, 24 games. There's sometimes 3,500 people in there, but they're a passionate basketball fan base and a very caring and loving community. Got that thing going a little bit. It was great to be part of that with Lionel Hollins, a good friend of mine. Bada boom, bada bing. I ended up with, and it got huge. But it's a very passionate fan base in a small market that cares about it, and that is what we're looking at here. Very passionate, and I've seen it from the outside. I've seen it when we come to visit. But again, when it was, and that's what we're talking about. Anyway, when he was playing it and it was rolling like crazy, that's what we want to get to going forward.
Coach, how do you plan to coach DeMarcus Cousins, and how will your style change as it relates to pace, offensive and defensive rating, which obviously has been different here compared to your time in Memphis?
Yeah, we play a little slower back in Memphis. Certainly, we still want to push the basketball and try to get easy baskets in transition. Our roster is still in flux as far as which guys are opting in and staying in and all this and that, and so the numbers and then certainly how the draft comes out and all of those things. So we're going to try to get the best players we can and then go from there. So I can't say we'll play one style or another style. I'm excited. I think Willie Cauley-Stein is a tremendous talent. I think that was a really good pick. I've coached Costa Kufas. I've coached Rudy Gay. I've talked to those guys. We'll be talking with DeMarcus here in a little bit. We're excited about going forward. I think we'll have a good relationship if you're open and you communicate with guys about what their role is. That's all a player will ever complain about on the backside is, you know what, I didn't know my role. If you're not going to play me, at least tell me that you're not going to play me. Cool, and that's what hopefully we'll build a great relationship with DeMarcus. I've had great relationships with players throughout the course of the years. Some of them have been the people that win citizenship awards, and some of them have been people that maybe on the outside think that these guys are tough guys to coach. And I've had great relationships with all of those guys, and I would go to the mat for any of those guys, and so I'm looking forward to building those relationships with our guys.
Who is maybe the player closest to DeMarcus Cousins in terms of temperament that you've seen, that you've been successful in coaching, and what will you do to try to get him a little more directed in a positive manner instead of negatively
Zach Randolph and I talk about it a lot, over the past, since DeMarcus got in the league, about how Zach, and not now, but as Zach as a young player, and what he has matured into, how giving he is in the community, what a team guy he is. And just as he got older and he realized some things, people said some tough things about Zach. He went through some tough times early in his career. And you look at what he's been able to do with his career, and I'm certainly hoping Zach goes to the Hall of Fame. I've got a lot of love for him, and just to watch the growth of him as a human being is just fantastic, and that carried over onto the court, I thought.
This one for Vlade. Did you have a feeling that a guy like Dave would become available? Was this kind of maybe some rumblings, anything you heard? Was this kind of what you had been targeting all along? And if it wasn't, I mean, what was the alternative plan at this point?
Well, I would lie. I say, I didn't hope that something like this is going to happen. Obviously, I took time, and I was expecting, that somebody going to lose job in the playoffs. And like I said, when Dave was available, I had no doubt that he's a guy that we want to bring here.
Well, what is it about Dave that put him to the top of the list when he became available?
His track record, I think he's passionate. He's a great leader. He's a beautiful basketball mind. I spent, that Sunday afternoon talking about basketball with him, and it's a good energy between us, and I felt like, we can definitely be on the same page and move forward.
Coach, you're from Staples, Minnesota, from the upper Midwest. Coached, for these 7.5 years you mentioned in the minor leagues of basketball. Tell me how that shaped you as a guy. I mean, what kind of a guy are you?
Midwestern country guy, hardworking, loyal. Those are the things that mean the most to me. To stand up for one another and help each other. I think I'm generally Minnesota nice, as we call it. There are certainly boundaries in this business, but those are the biggest qualities that mean the most to me. What you say, do, and do what you say. And I know what I was thinking. It was like when we played. We got big man, point guard, big man. We can yell at each other, but we're always going to have our arms around each other, and it's going to be fun, man. Looking forward to it.
Coach, the Memphis newspaper reports that you may have contacted the Kings first, that the initial contact was yours before even you officially left Memphis. That's not the case?
That's not true.
No? So, Vlade, you did make the initial contact.
Well, on Saturday, I got a call from his agent, said, can we talk? I said, yes. What do you think about that? He said, I'd love to bring him here. So I got a phone number from his agent, called him, we talked. And Dave said, yeah, he'll be here on Sunday. And the rest of it is history.
So that was after the Grizzlies coach decided to go in a different direction, as they say.
Well, I don't know. It was a Saturday. I don't know when the
Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m. I got the call. I was in the parking lot at a track meet.
Dave, you mentioned you're going to speak to DeMarcus.
Okay.
You mentioned you're going to speak to DeMarcus after the press conference. What will your message be to him?
Same thing as it will be for all of our team. This is the things that we expect from you. And if you're on this side, we're going to win more games. If you surpass our expectations of performance and how you carry yourself as a great player or an average player on this team or a role player, and then there's on this side of the limits of what we will not accept and what we won't tolerate. And again, somewhere in there you have to be, and if we do that with all 12, 14 of our guys, then we're going to be successful. And if we get more guys to this side of it, then we're going to go, where we want to go.
Coach, what does this mean? What are you going to do about your coaching staff? We've heard Elson Turner's name already mentioned and a couple other of your former coaches, but the coaching staff that's already in place, as far as the assistants, are any of them going to be retained, or do you have any idea yet? I know it's been so new.
Yeah, I would tell you it is
Can I
very new.
about you talk about assistant coaches from last year.
Yes.
I'm gonna let them go, fortunately, and kind of leave Dave a clear situation to bring whoever he wants.
I can follow up on that. One of the things that I like of what Vlade has done is kind of bring back some of the family, and there's going to be. I'm a big fan of Rick Allen. I know obviously Vlade and Peja are, and I think that consulting with him is important, and bringing back some people that have had touches of when this was really rolling. I think is very positive. So that's all I will say about the candidates that we're perhaps looking at for assistant coaching positions.
Coach, you talk about the culture. How do you go about building that family atmosphere with this team?
For me, I think it's on defense. Really, like, you know, if you trust is built on at the defensive end of the floor, chemistry is built at the defensive end of the floor. If you're going to come down and shoot the basketball in 3 seconds and go back and play 21 seconds of defense, and you know one guy's not in or two guys aren't all in, then it's not going to work. And so we'll build our team through the defensive end of the floor, but while still being able to play fast and get the ball moving as much as possible.
Coach, when you look at last year, how trying of a time was that, and was it the hardest coaching experience you've had? I mean, obviously in the NBA, and how did that kind of shape you going forward?
It was certainly difficult, but I had great bunch of guys. Locker room held together. Otherwise, it would have got really nasty. So it was tough from the competitive standpoint. You know, sometimes with that many injuries, but we didn't get demoralized. We went out and we fought, and I was really lucky to be able to get a head coaching job in the minor leagues at the age that I was when I got it. To be able to see the things that I did in the minor leagues, I sold a lot of sponsorships, a lot of season tickets, popped popcorn, washed jerseys, drove the vans, signed players, scouted players, you know, the whole thing. And so that really helped me being able to go through last year. Last year was certainly a tough year, but I learned a lot. I know I got a lot more to learn, and I'm looking forward to learning from Vlade. He's got a ton of experience all over the world. I love European basketball. I love NBA basketball. The guy's just he's a basketball lifer, and so I'm really excited to learn from Vlade as well.
Vlade, you talked to a lot of people over the last 3 weeks in this process. What kind of intel did you get back? What kind of feedback did you get? And did you learn anything from the intel, from the feedback you got back from the guys you were talking to about the organization and the team?
Absolutely. It was a great experience for me, you know, talking to them, you know, from one of the best coaches in the league, you know, and it was a very tough decision for me. You know, I told them, you know, I talked to every single of them, you know, yesterday, you know, when I told them, you know, the decision that it was very hard, you know, and I wish I could hire them all, you know, because they are so good, and I'm sure they're gonna find some other jobs. What I learned, you know, is basketball is a sport where you learn every day. It's a fun, you know. You see the game yesterday, you know, with Portland and Golden State. It was beautiful to watch, you know. So it's a lot of, you know, learning process, you know, in every day.
Last question.
Coach, you mentioned improvement. So draft, free agency, trade, skill development, and finding players. What will have the most impact next year? And what is your vision for success for your first year here?
That's a good question. As far as which area we can is most important, that's probably better for Vlade, whether it be free agency or the draft or the ability to make trades. But for what we can control is to develop the players as much as we can, and we're looking forward to that. The guys have already been working out. Ben McLemore's been working out. I know DeMarcus has been working out in Vegas. I think that's a positive sign that guys don't want to wait until July to get it up and get it going. They're already focused on, you know, a fresh start, a new start going forward, and then I just about never put a number on what is success and what is not success. For us to take steps forward in how we play, that hopefully will go forward for the next 5 or 6 years. What we'll accept, what we're looking for with the ball movement and the sacrifice that guys are willing to make to play at the defensive end of the floor, that'll define for what we're going to do here for the next 5 or 6 years.
Okay, thank you. These guys will be available on the side if you want to ask them informal questions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.